good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Gazilny. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Thank you very much for joining us on this lovely night. And if you're going through some tough issues, God bless you. I know a lot of people are suffering these days, whether it's your health, mental health issues. A lot of people, unfortunately, are alcoholics and they don't even realise it. And every second night they're having too many drinks, and then that causes depression, which causes relationship problems. A lot of people out there suffering from mental health issues, and whatever you're going through, love and best wishes. Tomorrow's another day, and thank you very much for all the guests that have come on over the last 7 years. Thank you very much for Josh from Singularity Media and all the support staff here at RMIT TV. On tonight's show, a lovely lady, she watched the show and she got onto our email address. She's a beautiful heart and soul. Natalie Davids. Thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you very much for coming on. And you said, what are we going to talk about? We'll just keep it fresh, darling, you know. We'll talk about you, the great lady. How did it all start? You're born in Melbourne?
Born in Melbourne and lived half my life in France.
Yes.
And then came back here when I was 15 with my parents.
When you're 15 and you've got a beautiful daughter. How old is she?
She's 12.
Yeah. And viewers, when we see this lovely lady, she's got a lovely smile and you think, she's had a happy life. Everything's been great and, you know, she's had a daughter, probably got a nice husband and home, but it wasn't always like that. She was raped at 14. At 21, I think, and we'll get the answer shortly, her partner at the time tried to kill her. Unfortunately, at 35, when she thought she found happiness, her husband passed away. What a series of hard knocks for you, Natalie.
What, sorry?
What an unfortunate sort of hard knocks for you. So everything in life was normal growing up, yeah?
It was, my childhood was a little bit tough. My dad was quite strict.
He was quite strict?
Yes.
And what happened when you were 14, God bless you? You were raped?
I was raped, yes. My virginity was something that was extremely sacred to me. And I met an older man when I was 14. I thought that was pretty cool at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise what the needs of an older man were. And I found myself in a situation with him where he made me believe we were going for lunch. And it took me for a drive into the city, but that's not where we were going. And as he was driving, he said we were going back to his place. And I started to feel quite frightened. I didn't really know him that well. It was our second date. And one thing led to another, and he repeatedly asked to have sex when we got to his place and gave me a drink that was alcohol. And he just repeatedly asked, and I kept saying no. That didn't make a difference to him.
You were 14, still at school. And how old was this man?
He was 21.
Yes. And what happened? Was it a forceful rape?
Yes.
And what happened after that? You must have been shocked. Did you tell your mum? Did you ring the police?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
No?
No, I actually thought that's how it went. I thought as a woman, you know, you don't, what you want doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's sad, viewers, isn't it? I get so many stories as I've been around the criminal justice system for more than 25 years now, and I have people coming to me saying they've been raped. I say, did you ever make a report? And a lot of people are fearful or even embarrassed that they've been raped. But these days, you should definitely make a report, even if it happened 25 years ago. Go and see the police and make a report. And there's also sexual offence units out there all over Australia and New Zealand, and just make an appointment, and they're very comfortable people to speak to. So you never took that any further, Natalie?
I didn't. I took it on emotionally but repressed it until I was older enough, you know, way over 18 when I had my first
God bless you, darling. And thanks for
relationship.
touching base. You're such a lovely person. You said, what are we going to talk about, Michael? It's just your life because you're a lovely soul. And at 21, that's right, at 21, someone tried to kill you. Was that a different boyfriend, was it?
It was a boyfriend I was with for 2 years. And one day he decided to punch me in the face, and I left him within a week. I went and worked overseas in New Zealand, and as fate had it, I came back to Australia and I had a job interview, and he was sitting 2 seats away from me. I got the job and so did he. And so because of work we started to see each other again, and he promised that he'd never do something like that again. And of course I believed him. And we were at a Christmas party one night, Christmas work function, and he spat at me in front of everybody at the restaurant, which is got to be the most humiliating thing that I've ever encountered. And so we went outside and we had an argument, and then he tried to strangle me, and then he pushed me into a window and started punching me, and I was screaming out for help, and then these people came and helped me. And then I went back to the apartment that we once shared because we lived together, although I had moved out. And I went to put the key in, and he had changed the key, and he got there before I did, and pretty much pulled me into the apartment and locked me in. And that was terrifying, what he was doing and saying. And then the police eventually arrived, and when they forced in the door, he took my head and smashed it into the wall. And you know,
it's amazing how you recollect all that, Dale. And
yeah,
what a shocking start to a young life, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you must have thought all men are just absolute pricks.
By then, I thought yes, and I didn't have a will to live anymore.
No.
You know, and so I was blessed to meet this woman at work, at this job, and she took the phone, picked it up, dialed the number and said, you have to ring this counsellor. And I saw this counsellor for 2 years, and looking back, I wouldn't change this experience because that's what turned my life around. I had a reason to live then.
You had a reason to live, and for all the gents watching tonight, yes, us blokes, we can quite, with alcohol or drugs, we can, a lot of people have anger management issues these days. Life's pretty complex and pretty tough, and there's always pressures from life. So if you are suffering from anger, you know, these are the words of a victim. Just do something about it because it keeps on coming back. Maybe some meditation or some anger management courses, because it could ruin your life, couldn't it?
It did at the time, for sure.
And he wasn't charged either? No.
I dropped the charges because
the
statement, the way it was written, the court counsellor said to me, it's not in your favour.
Yeah.
They made me look like the guilty one. So
And in those days, a lot of stuff was wiped under the carpet, wasn't it? Police didn't want to do the paperwork, and a lot of domestics were swept under the carpet. And these days, of course, things have changed drastically, and there's a lot of support services out there. And that, Natalie, wasn't the end of the story either, was it?
No, after counselling, I was determined not to see any men until I felt healed, until I felt, you know, my confidence had returned and my trust in people. And then I met my beautiful husband. You know, soon after that, and we married in Hawaii.
What was his name?
His name was Roger.
Roger. How did you meet Roger?
I met him through work.
What were you doing at the time?
I was working for the Franklin Mint at the time, and he was an IT specialist, and he came to fix my computer, and I felt butterflies in my stomach from the moment. And yes, and then we married after a few years, had a beautiful daughter, and
lovely.
Yeah, and then
what's your daughter's name?
Her name's Alana. She looks just like him.
Wow, that's my daughter's name too.
Is it?
Alana.
Oh, wow, okay.
Isn't that amazing? We'll talk about Roger.
Yes.
God bless him, because he's passed away. We'll be back very shortly with the lovely Natalie Davids sharing this very warm story. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show. Hope you're having a lovely night, and I hope you're having a bit of fun this week. You know, a lot of people I speak to in the courts or in the street have just forgotten how to have fun, you know. I spoke to a lady the other day. She was quite pretty, but she went through a difficult separation, and I said, when was the last time you had a big laugh? And she said she hadn't laughed for years and hadn't been on holiday for years. So I think the take-home message is life's so short, you know. In 240 months, you'll be 20 years older. And I always remind myself, in 100 years from now, the whole population as we know it, even the beautiful little kids out there, is going to be replaced by a new population. So life is so short and so brief and so fleeting. So just enjoy the moments. And I know you were saying, look, Michael, but we're going through some tough issues. You don't understand our issues. And I do understand. I do understand how the mind can hit rock bottom, and we can become very lonely, even if we're amongst lots and lots of people. You know, some people say they're the loneliest person at the MCG. So just spend time with some quality friends and do the things you enjoy, because that's so important, isn't it?
It is.
Incorporating those fun moments into life, isn't it? Like now.
A day without laughter is a day wasted in my books.
Yeah. See, I try to sort of laugh a bit in between the court cases. People say, well, why is he laughing? He's supposed to do a court case. He's supposed to be serious, you know. But Natalie, getting back to lovely Roger, this man stole your heart.
He sure did.
You got married and you went to the beautiful shores of Hawaii,
Yes.
one of my favourite places.
Yeah.
Did you get married on Maui?
No, we did on one of the islands of Oahu.
Is that beautiful?
Yeah.
And then the beautiful Alana was born.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about the relationship with Roger.
It was a very special relationship because it was the first man that had treated me so well in my life, and he was a very strong Christian as well. So, you know, I turned to God, you know, by knowing him, and he's got beautiful parents as well that I fell in love with. And our relationship, you know, had its ups and downs like everybody does. It wasn't a perfect one, but you know, and I was very determined to be the best I could be as a woman. As soon as my daughter was born,
yes,
I felt like I had learned to be a survivor in my life up until then, already with those experiences. But yeah, I was determined, and so I went out there to live a life with passion and to live it and learn how to live it powerfully. And I started doing projects with fundraising, and you know, got into fitness and you know, all those different things. And I felt the happiest I'd ever felt.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
You know, and I felt woman.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, good. You had that power and, yeah, lovely moments to reflect on. And that ended as well. What happened to Roger?
Well, that particular year was a very important year for me. I had lost 30 kilos. I was on TV for a fitness program. It was called Weekend Warrior.
I do remember.
I think it was the Melbourne Weekender.
I do remember.
And I was a weekend warrior training for 16 weeks, madly.
You lost all this weight.
I lost all this excess weight.
And Roger was watching you on TV saying, "There's my lovely lady."
Yes, went from brunette to blonde during that time. And so, you know, my life was, you know, couldn't be any better.
Isn't that lovely?
And so we went on our Christmas holiday on a houseboat in Lake Eildon with some friends, and he kissed me goodbye that morning and said, "I'll see you soon," and I never saw him again.
Did you go water skiing?
Yes. We went jet skiing and bodyboarding and water skiing, and he left in the morning to say, you know, to do his body boarding, and I got a phone call a couple of hours later and was told that my husband was in an accident, and I was picked up by a speedboat and taken to the marina, and it still is a vivid picture for me in my mind, but to see my loving husband covered with a white blanket and black booties tore me to pieces.
Sorry to hear that, sweetie. What year was that?
2006, December. Gee, that's 29.
Not long ago, is it? Seems like
6 years soon.
Yeah, isn't that a shame, folks? Yeah, I've been through it. You know, the 10 years in the police force. Unfortunately, I attended thousands of fatals, Lake Eildon too, on the roads, children, and yeah, shocking. Every time the police radio at Russell Street came through, you know, Brighton 317 or St Kilda 303, we've got a 33. 33 meant death. It sort of played on me for at least 1 or 2 weeks. And then, of course, the death message. And so I know how you would have felt. And how did you get over that? What did you do to... I mean, you would have hit rock bottom then, wouldn't you?
I definitely hit rock bottom.
How old was Alana?
She was 7 at the time.
She was 7.
She was 7, and she loved her daddy so much.
Course.
You know, she was daddy's little girl. And I...
What did the friends say? How did the friends react?
Everyone was devastated because he suffered a heart attack, and this was just totally unexpected.
There was no one to blame?
No one to blame.
No one to blame. They're not the guy on the speedboat, no.
No, because he did his bodyboarding, and then he swam around the boat, and then he hopped in, and then he sat down and had a heart attack.
Did you stay friends with those people?
Not with the males, but with the female, she's become my best friend, Yanessa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been...
Did you then go into depression?
No, I was under shock. You know, I didn't eat for days, and I did what I knew best, was to survive and to be strong. And I've always have been a people pleaser, you know, people pleasing others, and so I did everything for everybody else and held everyone up. And it was 2 years after he died that I suffered a very severe depression. I got during my physical training at the gym, I got injured and I was placed under heavy drugs. painkillers, and then you know, I had a hiatus hernia a couple of weeks later, more drugs, and then I couldn't eat, and then my mind went, and they diagnosed me with severe depression and post-traumatic disorder.
And how long were you stuck in that dark place for, Natalie?
For quite a few months, for probably around 7 months.
A lot of people isolate themselves and go underground and, you know, don't go out and make phone calls. Did you sort of stay away from everybody?
I stayed away from everybody, and I have for the last few years. It's only recently that I have started to sort of, you know, go back out, you know, and make friendships and relationships.
Because it's always easy to fall back into that dark place, you know, but it's good once we've been there, folks. It's good once we've hit rock bottom, because then we can, you know, once we've been there, we can get up again, and we work out techniques how to, you know, find joy in our lives. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then how did you manage to break out of that? I read in your transcript there that you said that it's not what happened to me, but my reaction to it.
Yes, you know, I strongly believe it's not what happens to us that matters the most, it's actually who we become out of our experiences, because we don't have a control of what happens in life, but we definitely, I mean, a choice, but we have a choice how we react. And once I hit, you know, I mean, I hit such rock bottom when the day my husband died, you know, for many months, especially that first year, and I was disintegrated, and I had to find a new purpose in life, you know, rediscover the world and find my reasons to live, and, you
Yes.
know, but I learnt, and then when I fell again, it was the, I don't think I could have hit any more rock bottom than that, and I did something that saved my life. I took an art class.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I had no art experience, and at the time I was doing a sacred garden.
We might talk about your art after the next break, and so
Love it.
amazing, amazing. What an amazing story. Thanks for watching tonight. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming up on the street and sharing your problems and your inspiration, and all those lovely people we've got on Facebook. I think there's about 19,000 now on the Tough Times Facebook page. Thank you very much for your inspirational and authentic comments to cheer up some of the people who are going through some tough issues. You know, I get up every day and I just have to remind myself that everybody is going through some sort of a tough time, whether now or in the past, and that we just have to try to make life better, put a bit of a smile on our face, and just to get a bit of sunshine, and you know, just to smile a bit more and inquire about other people's lives, just to take ourselves out of the picture and find about other people. This lovely lady hasn't always had this lovely smile. She was raped at 14, a violent boyfriend at 21 who beat her up and wanted to kill her. Roger, the love of her life, he passed away in a water ski accident. But she's come through the fire, and you're enjoying life. And you found art. Tell us about that.
Oh, well, I was busy building a sacred garden for my husband on the side of my house, and I'd commissioned an artist to build a statue of my daughter. And I noticed a pretty picture on her table, and I asked about it, and she said there's a lady that takes workshops. And I had no art experience at the time, but somehow I had the courage to call up and to take a class, and that was it. From there on, I suddenly...
You changed.
I changed. Like, I had you know, my painting showed that, you know, I was looking for who I'd become as a woman, you know, and I wanted freedom, self-expression, and the painting was actually a lady who was dancing with, you know, with the earth behind her, you know, surrounded with beautiful lotus flowers, mandala.
Isn't that amazing?
And within 3 months, not even that, I went to France for 3 months for a holiday, came back, and then decided to launch my art in France for 12 months.
For 12 months?
Yeah.
Where did you live in France?
In the south of France, Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferret.
Isn't that amazing? A pretty lady like you would have been swept away by these Frenchmen.
I had 3 marriage proposals when I was there.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. Did you have a really great time?
I had an amazing time, amazing time. I had exhibitions, I was offered an art gallery, received a medal for my contribution.
Isn't that amazing?
You know, royalty received my art. Like, it was just... It was just what I needed. You know, the year before I was in such a deep depression, and this one painting is what gave
I'd
me
like
hope.
to see one of those paintings. One of our regulars, Henry Nissen, the great man. Oh, there he is. Give us a look at that painting. Come over here, Natalie. Just move over here. Hello, Henry. Look.
It's a beautiful painting, Michael.
Yes, yes. Well, have a look at this.
I can see wonderful spirituality in that, the white lotus flower.
Isn't that amazing?
It's beautiful.
Now look at that, folks. That isn't that such a chaotic and complex world, but isn't that peaceful? Natalie, what's the name of this beautiful piece of work?
The meaning of this is blossom. It's actually about, you know, where the centre being a lotus. The lotus is about, you know, it's such a beautiful flower, and yet it grows in mud.
Yeah,
you know, like just like life.
It's
you know,
beautiful, yes.
Life can be chaotic and have its struggles, and
Gorgeous.
yet, you know, we can still become, you know, amazing people out of our experiences.
And when did you get on the spiritual path? Because you obviously do a bit of meditation. Henry and I do a bit of meditation.
We
go to
certainly
the
do.
place in East Brighton there, where we met Michael and the Tibetan priest.
That's right.
No, is he a priest? Monk.
Monk, that's
Yes. Can you tell the viewers, meditation, calming the mind is a must, isn't it?
Definitely, you definitely need to remove yourself from all the noise of this you know, of the world out there.
Yeah.
And just and hear your own voice, really. You know, I think that's what meditation
Because
does.
viewers, we have to remind ourselves, we always want to be part of the crowd, and we're always chasing the next new pleasure, the new car, the new relationship, the new job. But we always get bored, and we're always looking for the next new thing. So meditation really gives us that inner contentment and happiness. And we're not going to be happy all the time, but we always have to remember we come here naked and by ourselves, and we're going to die naked and by ourselves. Isn't that right? So our alone time should be very important, shouldn't it?
Definitely.
You know, we have to be totally independent towards the opinions of other people, because there's always someone who's going to not like us, Henry.
And it's always wonderful when you look within yourself with that meditation that you can even find a lovely peace of mind, and some people can actually see themselves out of their physical bodies at times.
That's very true, Henry. Did you just sit there because you want to sit next to this beautiful woman?
Well, I must admit,
Or is it the painting?
It's the painting.
anybody that can paint like that is wonderful. It shows wonderful spirituality,
It does.
and
Thank you.
it's just wonderful to have around.
But this is not the only one, is it? How many paintings have you painted?
Oh, it's been since the middle of 2009. I've probably done about 40, 50, 60 paintings.
And where can people see them?
They can see it on my website under Blossom Jar.
Under Blossom.
Blossom Jar, B
Isn't that
as
amazing?
in blossom, and then GER.
And Natalie, and also there's a book in the
making.
pipeline.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm really passionate about making a difference to people out there who aren't as, you know, who are less fortunate. You know, I've been through the darkness, and I feel blessed and grateful that I've, you know, come out of it a stronger person and with more wisdom. And so I feel, you know, really passionate about going out there and sharing my story with people and give them hope. And so one of my little dreams has always been to write a book. And so I've just submitted a book proposal to a publishing house called Reasons to Live, Love, Love.
Reasons to Live, Love, Love. Natalie, thank you very much for sharing. We'll have you on again, because you've got so much to give. What a beautiful, one of the most beautiful people who's sat on this couch in 7 years. And Henry, thank you very much for joining us for this short time. And
thank you for allowing
we'll have
me
you on
to.
very shortly to share this wonderful life story. And viewers, thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. Love and best wishes, and have a really great week. And try to smile this week. All the best.